On the next Canine Corner, it's almost Howl-O-Ween, so we'll be sharing some ways to celebrate the spooky holiday with your canine companion. Plus, we'll sit down with a local animal communicator to learn about the work she does. And we'll also be talking about Howl-O-Ween safety for dogs, and we'll tell you how you can give these pups a forever home. All this coming up on the next Canine Corner. I'm Riannon Trutanich, your host for Canine Corner, the show that your dog will give 2 paws up. It's almost time for Howl-O-Ween, and we have a ghoulish episode for you today. We'll be talking about some fun ways to celebrate the spooky holiday with your canine companion, and Brusavich from TranquilPET will be here to talk to us about pet safety for Halloween. Plus, animal communicator Nancy Gardiner will be here to talk to us about the work she does and how she can help your dog. But first, let's meet adorable rescue dogs from Forte Animal Rescue.
Forte Rescue was started in 2003 by Maria Take, and the goal of Forte Rescue is to help dogs that need the most help. For instance, we pull dogs from the pound that are at risk to be put to sleep. We have our adoption events every Saturday at Centinela in Los Angeles from 12:30 to 3:30, and you can come see all our great dogs that are looking for forever homes. We always need help. Number one, we need fosters, because the more fosters we have, that means the more lives that we can save. You can also help by volunteering at our adoption events, and we always need donations of food, blanket, beds, anything that you think the dogs could use. Today I brought a bonded pair. This is Marley and Maddie. To tell you a little bit about them, Forte has these little babies because their owner died, and sadly nobody in their family was willing to take them. So we're really hoping that someone will be willing to open up their home to both of them. They're very attached to each other. We've tried separating them, and they're both just miserable on their own. They really enjoy being around each other. We think Marley is a Min Pin Manchester Terrier mix. He's a little bit younger than Maddie. We think he's about 5 years old. He's got a good amount of energy. He just loves to be around people, super affectionate, loves to be held, very sweet little boy. Maddie is a little bit older. We think she's about 8 years old. She's very mellow. She never barks, so quiet. We think she is a Papillon Pomeranian mix. They get along with other dogs. They have about 4 other dogs where they're living. They love people, they love other dogs, just looking for that forever home. They definitely enjoy being around each other. If Maddie goes off on her own, Marley will follow her. He does not like to be without her. She's the quieter one, so if he thinks she might be getting upset, he'll kind of like look out for her and give like a little bark. So she lets him kind of do all the talking. They would love to just sit on someone's lap side by side, so someone that's willing to cuddle with 2 little sweet dogs would be the perfect home.
If you are interested in adopting these dogs, please contact Forte Rescue at farescue.org. Those dogs are so cute and would love to be a part of your family. Who hasn't wondered at some point what their dog is thinking? I know I have. Well, wonder no more, find out. Nancy Gardiner is here now to talk to us about her work as an animal communicator. Take a look. Nancy got her start in animal communication early on.
Well, when I was about 18 years old, I heard of an animal communicator named Beatrice Leidecker, and she was teaching animal communication classes, like a weekend seminar in the area. And I thought, can I really do this? Is this possible? So I went, and I did a communication with a dog next to me. One of the exercises was describe what their backyard looks like. And when I described the backyard to this dog's owner, I was right on the money. It was correct. And I went, okay, this is pretty amazing. So at that moment, it was kind of proof to me that this is real. And that's how I first got started.
Nancy says animals have likes and dislikes the same way people do, and they are able to communicate those likes and dislikes to her.
They're just like people. So they have different personalities, they have different things that are important to them. But a lot of times I'll start a communication with first impressions, so whatever comes in, whatever they want to tell me. And most of the time it's what makes them happy, what they like, what they don't like, or maybe an event in their life that was very meaningful, things like that. Just like people.
The way Nancy receives the information is similar to how information is received in daily life.
The way you get information in real life, sight, sound, smell, taste, all those sensations are real. But when you're doing a communication, you receive them the same way, but they're like a phantom sense. So it's kind of like a memory of a smell or a memory of an event. And so it kind of comes in that way.
And Nancy explained her process of what happens during an animal communication session.
Generally what I do is I kind of try to relax. I just take a deep breath. I empty all that clutter, all that chatter in my mind. You'll see me either close my eyes or maybe kind of my eyes get unfocused because I'm just relaxing, and I'll just pose a question to the animal. Like, for example, the first one I ever did, what does your backyard look like? So I'll ask the question in my mind. Usually I'll question like a barren yard with nothing in it. Slowly the pictures and things will come in. It can be a variety of things, like an animal that likes to swim. I might get a picture of an animal swimming, a feeling of happiness, and the smell of a wet dog all at once. So it kind of comes in all different ways.
Not only can animal communication help pet parents better understand their furry friends, but it can also help with behavioral issues.
Most of the time, animal communication enhances that. A lot of times, if it's a really big behavioral problem or emotional problem, it might require something additional to that, like an animal trainer, maybe a trip to the vet to check something out, or some homeopathics, or flower essence remedies to help them.
Nancy has worked to help pet parents in many different situations, including one owner whose kitten had gone missing.
This one person lost her kitten, and it was a black kitten. It was only 10 weeks old. It wasn't that old, very small, and it had been missing for 2.5 days. So she asked me to look at its picture. She thought it had passed away, and when I looked at the picture, I got immediately this movie playing in my mind. I got a big cat jumping at him. He ran down a hallway, out a front door, the side of the house, seeing rabbits and dogs, and then hiding in this pile of debris. It was very vivid, very clear for a little kitten. So when I told her the information, she went home and checked in this pile that she has in her backyard. She confirmed she has rabbits and dogs on that side of the house. She confirmed all the information. She went to the pile of wood in her backyard, and the kitten was sitting in that wood. It had been there for 2 days.
Nancy is even able to communicate with pets who have passed away.
The way it works with an animal that's passed on is it's kind of like my higher self is talking to their higher self. It's intuitive communication. So to talk to an animal that's passed on, I'll picture the animal as they looked in this lifetime.
Okay.
So I'll look at a picture, get a description, and that's how I connect with the animal.
Okay.
The information basically comes in the same. So I can ask them, what was your favorite thing to do in this lifetime? And get verifiable information from the animal, ask, how was their transition passing, if they have any messages for their person. It's pretty much the same thing. Sometimes it's a little more fuzzy information, it's a little lighter feeling, but otherwise it's exactly the same as communicating with an animal that's alive.
And communicating with an animal who has passed away can help their owners.
But most of the animals I talk to that have passed on, their owners are obviously struggling with that. And after the communication, they always feel much, much better.
And from hearing Nancy talk about animal communication, to talking with her during a session, to watching her interact with pets, it's easy to see her love for animals and her love for the work she does.
Helping people and their animals. I mean, one of the main ways is a lot of people want to know, is my animal happy? General things like that. But I get a lot of, behavioral problems or physical problems, and they want to know if animal communication can help enhance or help solve that. And when I do a communication and they come back and they say, oh my God, that really helped, that's really rewarding to me. And, and the fact that it just brings people and their animals just so much closer together. It just enhances their relationship.
And not only can owners have a communication session to learn more about their pet, but they can also become animal communicators themselves.
People can actually do this. They can learn how to communicate with their pets intuitively. I think most people are most surprised about that. And I teach classes, so it's possible people can actually do this.
For more information about the classes Nancy teaches or to book an animal communication session with her, please visit petcommunicating.com. And Popeye and I had the chance to sit down with Nancy for a session. You're not going to want to miss this.
So here we have Popeye, and he's a 7-year-old male. And obviously he's with us so I can see what he looks like. So that's all the information I really need to start with.
Okay.
So what I usually do is I do what's called first impressions.
Okay.
So I'm going to just kind of quiet myself for a moment, see what information I can get, share it with you, and then if you can let me know if it makes sense to you, if it doesn't make sense to you, see if it's verifiable, and then you can ask whatever questions you want to find out what's going on with Popeye. So I'm just going to quiet myself for just a second here. So I picked up a couple things. It looks like he likes to go places with you, obviously. You take him places, that's kind of obvious, but he does like to go places with you. But he's mentioning that he likes to go, it almost looks like a mini day off or day vacation. It looks like you're outside and either hiking or he might be near water. Do you take him out to places like that?
Yes. With me, he goes to, we walk in a marina. That's where we go on. That's where we go on our walks. And then his favorite place, though, is he goes with my dad to a park by the ocean, and he plays frisbee there. So that's wonderful. That's his. And there is some brush as well on the one hillside there.
Good. Yeah. So he likes that. Obviously, he mentioned it. Let me see if he has anything else to mention offhand, and then we can ask some questions. He says he's not supposed to jump up on people, but sometimes he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our big issue at the front door.
Okay. He knows he's not supposed to, but it's not that important to him, so he does it anyway.
Yeah.
So he is allowed to play with some other dogs. It's more than just one dog. There's a couple that I'm seeing. One of them looks like almost kind of like a lighter colored dog. It's either medium or large, maybe yellow labish.
That was Riley.
Riley?
Yeah, that's who passed away.
Passed away?
Yeah.
He really liked that dog. That dog to him seemed more of the alpha than him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then there's another dog that's smaller than him. It's not light colored. It might be brown. I don't know.
Yeah, she's got like big kind of brown spots.
And he likes that dog. That dog's exciting to him. Like their play is more excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they get in some trouble together.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Does he like other dogs? Because I feel like sometimes he really likes them, and then some he doesn't really like. Kind of doesn't care too much about.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they can have personality conflicts like people as well. So let me see how he feels about other dogs in general, if he has an opinion on that. So yeah, he said that he likes his friend dogs. And other dogs, it's kind of a hit or miss. His first impression of another dog would be to kind of puff up and be the tough guy. Especially, he said, like when you're walking, maybe your dad walking him in that park area, there's another dog, especially a big dark dog, a larger dark dog, he hates that dog. Yeah. He barks at that dog. But if he's introduced to a dog in like an open situation with maybe another dog he likes and they're off leash, then he's fine with them. So it kind of depends on the situation, depends on the dog. It's not that he doesn't like dogs or like dogs, it just depends on the dog and the situation. Okay, so the answers come in pretty quick. Intuitive information is very fast.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I hate to give favorites. I never usually do it, but he says that you are his human mom.
Me?
So you're his human mom, but he has a special relationship different with the other people in his family. He feels that he's a family dog, really. I mean, but you're his official mom. But he feels that he's a family dog. So he does have a separate relationship, like with your dad.
Yeah.
His relationship is completely different with your dad. So it's hard to say favorite, really. I can ask him if he has any questions or concerns for you.
Yes.
Or if he has any messages.
Yes,
okay,
please.
let's do that. That's a good one, Dave. So he doesn't have any really concerns at all. He seems really, really happy. So you're doing a great job.
So glad.
Yeah. His biggest question was, what are we going to do after this today? So, pretty simple, in the moment. And he just loves you and the whole family. And he really feels like he's part of your family, that you're all one unit. It's not that he's just your dog, he's a family dog. And he's just really content. He doesn't have any issues. He's a pretty happy little boy.
Is there anything missing? Like, does he have anything that like he hasn't done or that he wants to do, or?
Okay. So he keeps mentioning this one thing with water. Does he like to be in water?
He likes to swim.
Okay.
He loves swimming.
I think he'd like to swim more.
Okay.
Is what he's mentioning.
For more information about the classes Nancy teaches or to book an animal communication session with her, please visit petcommunicating.com. Nancy does such amazing work, and as a pet owner, it's so great to know what your pet thinks. I'm really glad that Popeye likes me. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. There's much more spooktacular doggone fun when we come back. Welcome back to Canine Corner. I'm your host, Riannon Trutanich. Halloween happens to be my favorite holiday, and Popeye's too. He really likes the costumes. So we decided to share some ways to celebrate Halloween with your canine companion. So Halloween is when you combine Halloween and hanging out with your dog. Popeye and I are going to be talking about some fun ways to celebrate Halloween with your canine companion, and we brought along a couple friends to help us out. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Bones and Creepy Canine. They're not big talkers, but they do know Halloween. Now, the first thing that you can do is to have your dog help you decorate your home for Halloween. You can find decorations at your local stores that your dog will love, like this guy. Popeye thinks he's real. And you can also make your decorations that are Fido-friendly. You can get pumpkins and use your dog as your inspiration. Instead of a jack-o'-lantern face, you can carve your pumpkin to look like your dog. Hey, Popeye. Popeye, what did the skeleton say to his dog before dinner time? You don't know? Any guesses? Bon appetit. Get it? Get it? All right, well, moving on. Who doesn't love treats on Halloween? And your dog is no exception. Of course, they can't have candy like us humans can, so you should make them their very own special Halloween treat. I made Popeye a batch of some pup cakes, and the cake is just banana and pure pumpkin baked at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes, and the frosting is more pure pumpkin, sweet potato, and a tiny bit of cream cheese. Of course, you should be mindful of any allergies your dog has before making them treats, and always check with your vet. We'll be posting this recipe on our Facebook page in case you'd like to make them for your dog. And as you can see, dogs love them. Now, another thing that you can do is to take your dog to a pet parade or costume contest. The Antique Street Fair in Torrance hosts a pet parade and costume contest each October, and Bark for Life has a costume contest on Sunday, October 22nd. You can find out more information about these events on our social media pages, and we hope to see you there in costume. Why not take your dog trick-or-treating? If you live in a dog-friendly neighborhood, you can get your neighbors on board to give out dog biscuits or dog treats to any four-legged trick-or-treaters on Halloween night. If you're taking your dog trick-or-treating or to a pet parade or costume contest, he or she is gonna need a costume. If your dog is okay with it, then go for it. Local stores have some great dog costume options. You can also make your own costume for your dog, which is really fun. Popeye was Pumpkin Spice Popeye last year. Stay tuned for what he'll be this year. Now that you have your dog's costume all set, it's time to show them off on social media. Be sure to tag us using hashtag Canine Corner Halloween. And even with all that Halloween fun, we have to make sure to keep our pets safe. Jean Brusavich from TranquilPET is here now to give us some Halloween pet safety tips. What should pet parents be careful of on Halloween?
Halloween is, great for kids. It's a little scary for our animals. The first thing you have to be careful of is that the trick-or-treat candies are toxic to animals. So make sure that they can't get into them. Especially, there's a product out there called xylitol. That's a sugar substitute. That is very toxic to animals. It's not only in just chocolate, it's also in other hard candies and different kind of things. So you really need to be careful. It can be fatal if ingested. They can start vomiting, they can have diarrhea, their heart rate can increase, they can have seizures. Xylitol, you should really be checking, reading labels like they're telling us for humans, because there's so many things that everybody's allergic to now these days. Also be reading anything that you're going to give your pets, like peanut butter. I give my dog, Jake loves peanut butter. I do a little treat thing for him where he has to work for it. But the peanut butter that I use is just strictly says peanuts. You need to read the labels because some peanut butters do contain xylitol. So you need to be careful what kind of peanut butter you're, or anything you're giving your pet. Just read your labels.
Who should I call if my pet ingests Halloween candy?
If they get into any kind of your Halloween candy, there are a couple things that you need to do. If they vomited or had diarrhea, if you know what they ate, you need to take a sample of it. You should try and call your vet or your local emergency pet hospital. If you can't do that, please don't call 911. While the 911 operators are very sympathetic and understanding of your problem, they are not trained in helping you with pet emergencies. There are a couple of places out there. The ASPCA has a hotline you can call. It's an 800 number, I believe. And then there's another one called the Pet Poison Helpline. I have them on my website. I also have given you where you can, post that for the people and I have it printed and on my refrigerator. So it's right there.
Should I keep my pet indoors or outdoors on Halloween?
Don't leave them in your backyard. I had a lot of times there's different firecrackers people set off that can, scare them, make them nervous. Some dogs, can get out of the backyard. Another thing is if you have a cat, especially if it's black, there's a lot of interesting things that go on over the holidays, for Halloween. Please keep your cats locked in the house for days before and days after.
Where should I keep my dog when trick-or-treaters are coming to my house?
I know I have an issue with my dog Jake. He's 85 pounds, and anytime anybody, even before they ring the doorbell, he knows they're there and he runs for the door. So I keep him locked in my bedroom during the holiday, during Halloween night, with the TV or a radio going, so that he doesn't get over anxious with all the kids coming to the door.
What Halloween decorations should I keep away from my dog?
Halloween plants, pumpkins, corn on the cob. While those products are not toxic, especially corn husks, they can get caught and lodged in their intestines, and they can have issues. Could cause a blockage. Lighted candles. I know everybody's going to the battery-operated flickering candles, but for some people that are still using lighted candles, they can either burn themselves, knock them over, cause a fire. So be careful about lighting candles. Electrical cords, of course, keep those out of the reach of like puppies and kittens because they'll chew through them.
Is it okay for my dog to wear a costume?
This is one of my big favorites, costumes. My Jake does not like costumes. I know Popeye does. I know your Popeye does, but just a couple of things you need to be aware of with it. Make sure the material is non-toxic.
Okay.
Make sure it's breathable. Make sure that there's no dangling parts that they can grab and ingest, and make sure that it's not so tight that it constricts movement. That need to be able to move through it, especially when it's been so hot lately.
Especially too, like I know for Popeye, you know, he grew. Like I bought him costumes, you know, when as a puppy and when he was younger, and then I would put him on the next year, and they would still kind of fit, but they would be a little tight, and you know, no one likes to wear too tight of clothes.
And that can really, you know, that can harm them. I would try on the costume. For those of you that don't know whether your pet likes it or not, I would try it on beforehand, and if they look a little anxious or seem a little stressed, I wouldn't put it on them. Maybe you might want to get like a Halloween bandana or something to put around their neck if you want them to be a little festive.
What else can I do to keep my dog safe on Halloween?
I would make sure that either your dog is identified, there's a proper ID on the dog, or they're chipped. Again, depending on what's going on, if they get out, something happens. You know, you just never know with the holidays.
If you are interested in contacting Jean or would like more information about the services TranquilPET offers, please visit TranquilPET.com. If you have a question, contact us and we'll be sure to get you the right answer. Call us at 310-618-5762 or email us at caninecorner@torranceca.gov. Now, if you missed the adoption segment at the beginning of our show or just want to see the adorable dogs again, here's your recap. Marley and Maddie are a bonded pair looking for a forever home. They are very attached to each other and love being together. Marley is a miniature pinscher Manchester Terrier mix. He's about 5 years old. He's very playful. Maddie is about 8 years old. She's a Papillon Pomeranian mix. Both dogs love being around people and other dogs. They would do best in any type of home. They are both potty trained and they both love to cuddle. They can't wait to be a part of your family. If you are interested in adopting these dogs, please contact Forte Rescue at farescue.org. If you want even more Canine Corner, including behind-the-scenes clips, tips for dog owners, and of course, pictures of Popeye, be sure to like our Facebook page and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And make sure to tag us in your Howl-O-Ween photos with your dog this month using hashtag Canine Corner Howl-O-Ween. That's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us here on Canine Corner. I'm Riannon Trutanich, and we'll see you next time.